We're going to call this State Allocation Board meeting to order. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Wilk.
Present.
Senator Leyva. Senator Roth. Assemblymember Nazarian. Assemblymember O'Donnell. Assemblymember Gallagher. Juan Morales. Cesar Diaz. Daniel Kim. Keely Bosler.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I would just like to briefly welcome Senator Roth and Senator Leyva, our newest members of the State Allocation Board. Welcome. They are replacing Senator Pan and Senator Allen, and we do have, if you haven't signed them already, we have some memorabilia for them. So. Second, I'd just like to note that there are 2 appeals items that we received some last minute information, and the board staff said they needed more time, and so we are going to, that's under tab 6, we're going to withdraw those from the agenda today so we can have full information before we bring it back and have a discussion about those 2 items. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say? All right, so the first tab 2 is the minutes from the February 27th meeting. Is there any comments from the committee members about the minutes or from the public? It's been moved and seconded. Can I please have the roll?
Senator Wilk.
Aye.
Senator Leyva. Senator Roth. Assemblymember Gallagher. Juan Morales. Cesar Diaz. Keely Bosler.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
Great. And now we'll move on to Ms. Silverman's executive officer report.
We have a few things to share tonight. Upcoming bond sales. This is great news. Treasurer's Office held a bond sale this month, and we will bring in a few $100 million next month for apportionment for the state to take some action on those projects. So we're looking forward to bringing those items in a few weeks. And the second item we wanted to share is we shared last month that we were definitely on the cusp of hitting the threshold of modernization applications received that will definitely tip our modernization bond authority that we have to fund projects in the future. So as of March 1st, we sent notification to those districts. So any future applications beyond that date, they will be placed on the applications beyond bond authority list. So what does that mean? Districts have to submit with their future applications an acknowledgement that there is no guarantee of future funding, and that has to come forward with the full board resolution. And those acknowledgements have to be in accordance with the regulations 1859.95.1. So again, any future modernization applications must be we'll accept those applications and will be placed on the acknowledgement. So just put in perspective, the modernization applications that came through the door from March 1st to March 15th, although they're not a part of your agenda tonight, we have 48 million of those projects that are on the acknowledged list of the future. So just wanted to highlight that to the board. And we also have $261 million in new construction applications that are also on the list. So looking forward to share that with you next month. We also wanted to highlight there's a new website format for OPSC, and that is really a great item that we wanted to share with you. Is accessibility compliant. It's a little bit to get used to, but it's again, it's a lot of great features on there, and we wanted to share that with you. It is also again some great information. Your meetings tab is where you're going to find our agenda. So again, look forward to that. Our agenda will be on the meetings tab, and also you'll find our archive information. It will take some time for us to load. We got as far back as 2017 and loading our archive agenda. I know we had that going back to 1998, but we'll get to that as soon as we can. Another item we wanted to promote there is our data dashboard, and if you hadn't had an opportunity to visualize what that data dashboard is about, it really is a lot of great information, and we're looking forward to having that real-time data. You can actually sort this information by all the prior initiatives from Proposition 1A all the way to the current proposition, by funding source, by legislative district, by school site, by school district. So again, a lot of great filters in there. So more to share, and we're interested to sharing that in the future where the public can run those reports live, and that will be featured in a state open data port. So we're looking forward to brandishing that information online in the future, and again, promote greater transparency. So more to come in that area. And then our next meeting is in April 24th.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board or from the public? Thank you for the commitment. I know all of those refreshes of our websites take a lot of time and effort, so thank you. So the next issue is the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions about the consent agenda? Have a motion and a second. Can you please call the roll?
Senator Wilt.
Aye.
Senator Leyva. Senator Roth. Assemblymember Nazarian. Assemblymember Gallagher. Juan Morales. Cesar Diaz. Daniel Kim.
Aye.
Keely Bosler.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
Thank you. Now we're moving right along. We've got the status of fund releases. Yeah.
Financials, we wanted just to highlight on that tab, page 40, we actually released $60.9 million in funds, so that's great for the fund releases report. And then also moving forward, as part of the consent agenda on page 49, I wanted to highlight that the board did take action in approving $187 million in project approvals, and that represents 10 projects. And then we also wanted to highlight that part of our closeout activity, there's $148,000 that was recouped as far as our closeout activity for the program. So again, that's part of the consent agenda. With that, happy.
Any questions? Any questions from the public?
Madam Chair, would you like me to go ahead and ask a couple members how they vote on the minutes?
Sure.
Daniel Kim, how do you vote on the minutes?
Approve.
And then Assemblymember Nazarian? Great, thank you so much.
So I think we're to the informational items.
So we have the workload for the 90 days.
Yes.
There's no question.
This is on tab 7. Is there any public comment on this informational item? So we didn't have anything else, so this is the time for public comment. So this is a very short meeting today, so I think we did have some public comment. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Chair Bosler, members, Tom Duffy, housing. In the document that you see afraid that black maybe 55 mechanisms for 1980. In essence, cash flow that allowed the board to make a portion based on allow district funded rather than when the recession closely reported that treasury for a district not necessarily come in, take funds, portion of the Department of the Treasurer's Office, but below the beginning, sell bonds. We cash organization, surveyed school district and took information to finance together and basically identified the school district would indeed come in for dollars if the project. So bonds were sold, project portion, but because of the circumstances, funding in longer that are today will be useful past the session. We ask that you reinstate the AB 55 mechanism to allow districts to be funded on a monthly basis and for you to consider funding projects on a monthly basis, or at least go to every other month. You need to start it, in some order. But this was a mechanism that allowed districts to move projects as they needed to move them, to take advantage of good bidding climate. And right now, what we know from research we do and consistently watch is that construction costs are going up about 1% a month, if not more, and that the longer that we wait, the project waits for funding over a 6-month period, it could have a 6% increase, which means that it builds less. So we ask that you consider reinstating the AB 55 loan. Now, the question I think you may ask is, well, if that's a loan and there's interest that is generated, where does that come from? And our suggestion is that you consider taking that from the bond funds themselves. The bond funds are utilized to pay for the people at OPSC and as well as the project. So I think that is a fair way to fund. So again, a request is to please answer any questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. I have read your letter and I've looked at your proposal. I'm trying to understand the problem that we're solving because a lot of the projects that come before this committee have already been constructed. So bridge financing is not a limiting factor for many of these projects. And we're just reimbursing the district. I guess the other question I have is, so we're doing bond sales, yes, only, twice a year, every 6 months. And there is also already a mechanism for hardship for places where we need to be a little more flexible from a cash flow perspective. And so I guess I'm trying to understand how really changing the AB 55 loan cap, because right now there's a loan cap of $1 billion, and that's a decision that's made by the Pooled Money Investment Board, is really completely used up right now by other state programs. But I'm trying to understand first what the problem is that you're trying to solve with your proposal.
Your first point is certainly true. It's an anomalous situation because of what happened in 2001. So districts indeed did forward fund if they could from local PO bonds, local developer fees, combination, did forward fund projects. That's not necessarily every district, however. We have great disparities in terms of wealth when it comes to property wealth in California. So it's true that there will be districts that have basically built their projects under reimbursement, but then again, they have continued needs, and those local bond dollars that were used for a state-funded project advance means that the project that was initially identified for hasn't been built, hasn't been here. So we can't say that in every instance that it's going to be a reimbursement, but even when it is, that doesn't mean that the district doesn't.
So are you proposing then like giving a loan for a project we haven't actually reviewed yet in that circumstance?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to follow.
What I'm saying to you is when you take action, we'd like you to do this on a monthly basis if you could. When you take action to apportion a project, that those dollars are available to the district immediately. And under statute today, the district actually has 18 months to move from the date of apportionment until it can take those dollars. That's not what's happening. What current circumstance, you identify that the project is approved, and they have to identify for you that they've been contracted. So those dollars are going rapidly. Would we want districts to move quickly on projects? Yeah. And so we'd like to have a discussion about that if that's something that's further satisfied. And back to your comment about hardship. Hardship projects may be funded. Lisa talked to you about the exhaustion modification. If a hardship project comes before you, you may not be able to fund that project because you do not have funds. But Lisa and Barbara and others may be able to gather some gathering of dollars to fund it. We don't know.
Commercial paper, I think we often are using for health and safety.
However you could do that, because that certainly is. Career technical education projects are something that you approved and you approve more. When districts are ready for those funds, you are able to, on a monthly basis, make a portion, give those dollars. They could commence their project immediately without waiting. So we think that this was done. If it was done for a quarter of a century, it's certainly a good practice. And it was only stopped because of the Great Recession. For a long past. No further questions.
Sorry, I have a question. I know just enough to be dangerous here. So it sounds like the request is to get the money sooner to avoid the cost escalation for that school project. Is that correct? And that would save, ultimately would save the school district money, or they could purchase more with the funds that they have available. And your thought was that as far as the interest being paid, that would be paid out of the larger bond program. But what that would effectively do is make less available for other school districts that want funds. So would you be willing to entertain the idea of the school district that wanted the money sooner would pay the interest on those loans? That way the monies would still be available for other schools that haven't received them.
Let's discuss that maybe further. When this was done before, it was done without any consideration for the state trying to recoup dollars from a bond fund. It was done because school construction in California was a major part of construction. It still is today. In fact, during the recession, it was the only game in 2000. Literally ran out of capital. But let's talk about that. The fact that it worked so well for so long only stopped because we were in just rate worthy of some consideration. It worked for the board.
And I just want to remind you, there was a whole suite of changes that were done to our bond management that were done in conjunction with the state treasurer and the state controller, because there were a lot of practices that had gotten pretty far afield where we were issuing bonds and then not spending them for many, many years. And it was just not a good practice. And so we've tightened up a lot of things. This was just one piece of that. So there are a lot of things, and in my world, nothing is free. And I think that Dan Kim makes a good point, which is, it's essentially more money for interest and less money for projects. And that's a choice, but that is the reality of what that. And I guess I don't really see the policy or the problem that is being served by the districts that come forward with projects that are already constructed. And so we're just coming in and offsetting their costs.
But again, we're going to work out of that because that was it happened because of
majority, though. So the majority of projects that come before us have already been constructed and occupied, and we're just making they've been in line, and so they're getting the money that they were entitled to through the process. So
again, districts have foregone building another project to do that. Those funds allow that. And of course, we never have enough capital. And it's really important. I'm a credentialed teacher. I taught for about 14 years. You only get a chance to educate a child at kindergarten once. You only get a chance to educate a child 10th grade once. Only happens if you put that off, then that child loses that opportunity. Building schools in California takes a long time, a lot of planning, a lot of approval for major agencies. So the faster we get the project complete, I'll stop. Richard Lyon. We would prefer and it's really part of our presentation. My back. So we
You did see the January 10th budget proposal, correct? Yeah, because that's doubling that rate. Yeah, okay.
but we would like to have this budget out of if we've done $1 billion, $4 billion, so then application feed on so for wrong loss.
And that would just cost more general fund money. I mean, that's the reality of, the budget proposes a schedule that is more than doubling what the last administration did on an annual basis. That's going to be a big ramp up for Lisa and her staff, but one that we very much support in the Newsom administration. But beyond that, I think it's questionable what can be done in terms of getting the staff on board, and then just as a consequence, that additional bond debt is not built into our multi-year. It's another 40 million, 105 million budget year plus 161 million. So we're getting into the budget dance with the legislature, so there'll be lots of time and space for conversation about priorities for those ongoing dollars. So. Otherwise, I think we can adjourn. All right. Thank you, everyone.